passes! 100% passes!
So, I'm here with one of my idols, with like someone who I respect. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to welcome Paul Barrett to the Amateur Football Show. Paul, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I think before we begin, let me just say that Paul literally set this interview up. It's nothing about me. It's all about what Paul can actually give to you guys, the viewers, and of course the knowledge and the insight that he has about the game. Paul doesn't know nothing about the questions, so all of his answers are genuine, and it's just going to be his first thought. Correct? So I'm filming this on the 15th of January, and we've heard of the really sad news of Cyril Regis passing away at the age of 59, a very, very young man. Paul, can you explain to viewers that probably don't know about Cyril Regis what he did for like the football community and for people of colour?
Well, I wouldn't say football community, I'll say football, the black community. It's an interesting thing because obviously in this sort of day and age we're mostly talking about racial tension. Back in them days, when Cyril and some of the other guys were playing football, they had to go through a torrid time, and without the strength of character, it wouldn't have paved the way for Vivian Anderson and them guys. Vivian's first black guy to captain England, and the stars of today to be on our TV screens. So you have to give them a real big up, because somebody of lesser character probably would have walked away from the game because the abuse was terrible, absolutely terrible. Yeah, you just have to. It's a sad day. It's a sad day.
So let's start with my own credentials. So as a player, I've won league titles, I've won cup medals, I've also won Player of the Year numerous occasions. 2016 I won Player of the Year for our five-a-side team that I play in Tooting on a Wednesday. And also as a manager, I have started a team from scratch, and of course, like it takes time. And with this team, we came runners up in a cup. We've won league titles, and most of our players are now playing semi-professional. So could you run through your credentials?
My credentials. I see this is going to be a pissing contest. It's a strange question to ask as a interviewer. You put down your credentials first and then badger the person to see who can piss the furthest. But anyway, this is how it's going to be. It's okay?
But let me just say as well,
It's okay.
This is all before I was 34.
It's okay. Again, we don't know what sort of standard of football you played. You said five-a-side. So we don't know what sort of standard of football you played. Anybody could go to a shop and get a cup and get it engraved, so it doesn't really mean anything. But anyway, my credentials, been playing football since 9. Won numerous league titles for school, and then for inner school teams, national teams. As you started teams, some of the players play for Peckham now. Been around football for as long as I can remember. So I know, for a better word, bullshitter when I see one. Fake when I see one. Sorry, people are just wondering what's going on. My latest achievement that I don't like to brag about is the Vets National Cup we won last season, which is probably the best cup you could ever win as a Vets manager, player, club. And we won that at Lillishall. So that stands head and shoulders above someone who's won a five-a-side competition. But yeah, so credentials are out there, cups and medals, but to me that doesn't mean anything. It's about the enjoyment of the game, trying to bring somebody up who's not as good as some of the other players, trying to build them up into a sort of football player.
So as a player, I've heard that you was a left back.
I was a right back.
You was a right back. Okay, so what type of right back were you?
I think you've been told this before.
I haven't.
I think you have. Ray's told you. I mentioned, you heard it. I saw it on Ray's video. But if you've lost that, I'll tell you again. I was always present, never injured, never shirked a tackle. Distribution, 100%. Reading the game, 100%. Basically like a Rolls Royce of football. To be given the number 2 shirt is a privilege, because that shirt belonged to Franco Baresi. And that was my shirt. So it tells you all you need to know, if you know about football, that is.
So it was only just the one position that you played?
I played right back or centre back.
That's really, really kind of good credentials, actually. No one told me that you played centre back, so...
It's okay.
So, why do you favour attacking players rather than defenders?
Why do I favour attacking players rather than defenders?
And my example is at training.
Mm-hmm.
You gave the attackers up to 4 touches.
Yeah.
But defenders could only have 1.
Right.
So,
sorry.
For me to break that down, is you want our defenders subconsciously just to clear the ball. However, on match day, you say to our defenders to play the ball out. So don't you think it's quite counterintuitive for defenders not to be comfortable on the ball rather than going route 1?
So, obviously, for people who know about football, you try and put people in situations that they're not comfortable with. So then when they're in a game situation, they've been in that situation before. So I put forwards with more touches than defenders. So forwards have got more play time with the ball. Defender has to think about positioning. When I get the ball, where am I going to pass it to? Other defenders know that when someone receives it, I've got to give him space to pass it on. Sometimes you only got 1 touch. You don't need 4 or 5. You only need 1 touch to clear the ball. Sometimes defenders overthink. Sometimes. So that was the reason. So it's not about favouring attackers. It's about putting defenders under pressure and see how they cope with that. Because hopefully that will transcend to a game situation when there's always a time when you're under pressure. Their brain will think about it and they will, instead of taking 2 touch, they'll just clear it. Because they haven't got time for the second touch. So it's not about favouring. I was a defender, so it's not about favouring forwards.
Did you know your starting 11 before the final? So, maybe semi-final, quarter-final?
No, I came into the team quite late as manager. But all the players are quality in that team, that squad. Only 11 could have started. They were all quality. So, no, I got help from Ben and Lloyd because they knew the players more than me. So, yeah, I have to give them a big up for Ben and Lloyd because obviously it's their team, so they knew the players more. So I just came on the semi-finals and then did my thing at the final. More of a sort of organizer and sort of talker sort of thing to get their minds right, because it's, you know, it's a final at Lillishall, so it means something. So that's what was my role. I don't like to make such a big deal about it. It wasn't me playing, it was the 11, 13, 14 guys that did the job. It wasn't me.
So what's the worst moment for you in football management?
The worst moment for me in football management is when you come through the changing room on a Saturday. That probably is the sinking feeling. It's like when you see a girl in a dance and you see her ass and you think, yeah, I'm going to walk over there. And she turns around and she's got that one tooth in her mouth. That's the feeling I get when you walk through that changing room door. So that's probably the worst thing that's probably it, actually.
So I guess you don't rate me as a player?
No, it's not that rate you. You haven't played, so I can't rate you. I can't say that steak is lovely if I haven't eaten it. You've got to experience things. You've got to play. Put 3 games in a row. You haven't done that. You put 3 games in a row. What you've done is you scored an own goal. Yeah, you scored an own goal.
But I would say that my football colleagues possibly think differently.
Football colleagues, who are they?
My teammates. Correct?
Think what?
Think differently.
About what?
About me.
As what?
As a football player.
But you haven't played, so how can they have an opinion if you haven't played? That's what my thing. How can I say that car is really nice? It's a beautiful drive if I haven't driven it. That doesn't make any sense. They're talking about your character as someone who carries an iPhone 3 around and misses seven goals on the sideline. We're not talking about you as an actual player because you haven't played yet. I'm not saying that you're not going to be a player. I'm going to try and work my magic on you. A lot of magic I'm going to have to use. Well, I'm going to try, but, you know, at the moment, you're not playing. So there's no opinion. I've got an opinion about Ray. I've got an opinion about Darren, Drew, Johnny, Big Don. I've got an opinion about them play. Nana. Even Nana. I've got an opinion about. As a player, you haven't played.
So do you miss playing football?
This season, watching you, yeah, because your hunger's not there. I miss it. Because your hunger is not there. You know who's got hunger? Ricardo. Ricardo's got hunger. Ricardo's got hunger like me. Ricardo and everybody in 2016's got hunger, but Ricardo and Darren, hunger is burning high, boy, in them boys, man. Yeah, so I miss it. Yeah, I miss it. I do miss it.
So if we were down...
I'm not coming back, not fit. So I haven't trained, so no.
So your aspirations of becoming a manager again, a manager, not an assistant manager, is that something that's...
I'm fine as I am.
And
Ray's doing a great job. I'm fine as I am.
But I wasn't talking about Ray's job.
What you talking
No,
about?
I'm just talking about...
I'm fine as I am.
And
I have no need to move. Kingsdale have rung me a couple of times, but I've said no.
But isn't it strange from winning a cup competition and you call yourself the Black Klopp? Klopp isn't an assistant, and I know that you don't like the word assistant because you don't say that word. You let's say helper. Everyone can help, but you are an assistant. So don't you think it's a backward step calling yourself the Black Klopp, not taking the initiative to say, okay, you know what, let me step up, like I've done before.
Well, I'll take offence to you saying everybody because I don't think you could do what I do. Purely because your lack of knowledge of football. And maybe the guys, when you talk, probably wouldn't have respect for you because of your lack of knowledge of football. So I'll take offence to that. some people don't need to be in the spotlight to enjoy what they do. I'm one of those people. Don't need to be in the spotlight. As long as everybody's enjoying themselves, I'm happy. So I'm happy sitting behind Ray, doing my thing. When we win, we all win. Simple as that.
So what's Ray's qualities as a manager?
Charitable is his first one. Charitable. Very charitable. And the reason why I say charitable first is because football is a very cutthroat game. And some people, you just have to cut them loose sometimes. And Ray's stuck with you through thick and thin, where some people would have just cut you loose. You know when you get a small fish, you just throw him back into the sea? Because he's too small. Just throw him back. You know what I mean? So he's taught me to be charitable. Sort of on the edge of having pity for the person. Sort of on that sort of edge of having pity for the person. Bring them along. I mean, give him a shirt, give him a kit. I mean, give him 5 minutes at the end. You know? Let him come to the pub. Let him try and be one of us. Okay? So he's taught me that. Ray's knowledge of football is very deep. We have many talks during the week. He watches and sees a lot. People might not think he sees it, but he sees a lot. Very funny guy, very genuine. Yeah, he's a nice guy, really nice guy, good manager. Yeah.
So I would say one of my defining moments where I saw you step up. There was 2 poignant occasions. The first was when we drew 3-3 against Wallingham away. And the second was the 8-1 defeat against Defiance. And the reason why I've chosen those 2, against Wallingham, you made the right changes at the right time, because we were, I believe we were 3-2 down or 3-1 down, and you made the right decisions at the right time. And you spoke well as well at that halftime, and you literally put across your instructions really, really well. And the 8-1 defeat, afterwards in the changing room, a lot of managers or assistant managers, however you want to address yourself, would have berated a lot of the guys. However, that was the first time I saw a more emotional connection, and literally what you said in terms of, it's okay guys, this is a lesson that we all needed to learn, it's time for us to move on. I thought it was one of the best after game speeches I've heard last year. So my question to you is, with the decisions that you make and the speeches that you say, are they all organic or is it premeditated?
It's all organic. It's called knowledge of football. And the changes at Wallingham wasn't just me. It was people in my ear, Ben, in my ear. Just everybody sees different things on a pitch. You could be engrossed in a game and someone behind you could see something completely different. So you need people just giving you bits of information, what they see. And finally, it's your decision to make the changes. But someone saw him, he's not running, blah, blah, blah. Because you might be focused on something else. So it wasn't just me, it was Ben. And the 8-1, I don't know where you get a manager would talk down to a team after an 8-1 loss. That's just crazy. Because, that's not going to win you anything. That's not going to win your friends. That's not going to have confidence of your players. They've lost 8-1. They're feeling down. We've given teams 8-1 beatings. And we might get another 8-1 beating again. This is football. It happens. Build them up for next week. It's not what happens this week. It's what happens next week. How you survive through the week and how you perform on the pitch next week. That's what it's about. So, no one was going to talk down and for a better word, slag off anybody. Oh, I can't believe you lot. No, listen, we got beaten. We have a drink. We go again next week. Simple. Because on a Monday, no one knows who you are at the bus stop. No one knows you lost 8-1. Simple. We're playing vets football, amateur football. We're not on Sky Sports. Your name's not in the Daily Mirror.
We had training last week, Saturday, and it got cancelled. And reading in between the lines, and I think a lot of the players probably feel the same, you could tell that Ray was very annoyed. Because, again, this is in-house, so I'm not going to say what was said or whatever, but you could tell Ray was annoyed. Do you agree with Ray's annoyance?
100%. Got to remember, it's hard. It's a losing battle sometimes with players who want to train and some who don't. Especially on a Saturday when, you don't want to get out of your bed early. We haven't got a game. What am I going to trade for? So it's a hard battle to win. And yeah, it was because we've had Christmas break. Next week you want to hit the ground running, and to hit the ground running, you have to try and get the body back into the feeling of 90 minutes, high adrenaline, high intensity football, which is what we play. So it would have been nice to get everybody on, down at Dulwich or Pinners for a little kick around, everybody get to know each other again, get the feel of the ball. But it didn't happen. So just have to pray and hope that this Saturday, you hit the ground running. To be honest, because I'll be disappointed. But the 11 or the 13 guys are going to be more disappointed than me because they're the ones that are going to be playing the game. And they might look back when they get home and think, maybe we should have taken that opportunity to train. So I'm with Ray. But it's a hard battle to win. Can't force people. They're not getting paid. You can't force them.
So have you been in a situation where a game's been called off as a player and you said, sod this, I'm going to spend time with the family or go to work or whatever you have to do, but knowing if it was a game, you would have gone to that?
I always train. Always would have trained. That's my philosophy. Always would have trained. That's why I was a Rolls Royce of a defender. Always train. Just trying to make yourself better.
So, what's the one thing that we, as in Peckham FC, need to change to be serious title contenders this season?
The thing we need to change is we have the ability in abundance as a vets team. It's sort of like on par as Man City. We've got an abundance of talent. The difference is they put a run together. We need to do that because through the league, through the division, there isn't a squad, there isn't a team that's as talented as Peckham 2016. There isn't.
2018.
It was 2016 it's called.
I was in the Peckham team.
Yeah, it's the B team. It's 2016, it's not 2018.
Okay.
It was formed in 2016. You thought it was called 2018?
No, but you keep saying 2016.
Well, that's when the team was formed. I'm talking about the B team.
Okay.
I don't play for the A team. Cecil Regis. So I would like to. We've got to be more. We are talented as a team, as a squad, very talented players. We just got to get off that walking on the pitch and thinking it's just gonna run for us because we've got the talent. It's just gonna run. They don't stand a chance. It's gonna run for us. We've got to get away from that. We've got to do the hard work, as I always say. Do the hard work, run them into the ground, then you can showboat. You've got to win the game first.
Let's kind of go on to one of your other loves, Liverpool.
Okay.
The Coutinho saga. Are you glad it's done? What do you think?
South American, loves to go to Barcelona, Real Madrid. Got money for him. Liverpool moves on. Simple.
So with the money that we have received,
Who's we?
I'm a Liverpool fan as well.
Oh, well, what Liverpool's received? It's we. Liverpool's received, yeah.
So the money that we have received, who do you think we should back?
Well, you do know that some of the money's been taken, or has been spent already.
Okay.
Right. Van Dijk is 75. Keita coming next season, 55. So most of the money's been spent already. It's not as if we've got 140 in the bank. That money has been spent already. So we haven't got that much money left. So it's going to be a goalkeeper, maybe another centre half, playmaker in midfield. But that can happen in the summer.
And who would you like to see in a Liverpool shirt?
That's a bit of a silly question. Who would I like to see? What, money? So how much money do I have to spend?
Well,
because I could say Ronaldo, Messi. That doesn't make any sense. You've got to give parameters to those sort of questions.
But I think you're a very intelligent man and a very
But you said who would you like to see? You've got to give me a parameter. You've got 200 million to spend because I could be like a 5-year-old. Oh, I want Messi. I want De Gea. That doesn't make sense, does it? So you've got to give me a parameter
but I think we both know you're not going to say those names.
Well, you haven't given me parameters, so why wouldn't I say it? You basically said I've got whatever money I've got. I've got as much money as I want. So I am going to say De Gea. I'll have Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi, no, because they don't get on. And I'll have Pogba as midfield. Because you didn't give me a parameter.
So you would have a United player play for Liverpool?
Yeah. And what's wrong with that?
Let me repeat that. So you would have a United
player. Football transcends that. That sort of stuff is old. Okay? It's about winning on the field. So that sort of thing, and he's not a United player. He was a Juventus player who went to... So remember, they got rid of him. Went to Juventus, and now he's gone back. So he's not a United player like Ryan Giggs or Peckham, one club man. Okay? So, yes, I would. Them days are finished, man, about... You know what I mean? If someone comes available, you take him.
So who else from the United team would you...
De Gea.
Would you take?
De Gea.
So, with our game coming up on Saturday...
Yes.
Who we play?
Playing Bexley Pumas.
And, again, no one's got a crystal ball, but you think we can get a result?
Who knows? No one's got a crystal ball. Who knows? They're going to be thinking the same thing. They're going to turn us over. Just like I'm thinking we're going to turn them over. So who knows? So whatever happens on the day, who turns up ready on the day?
But
are you coming on Saturday?
But that's your job to get everyone ready, though. Right?
No, there's nothing to do with me. Once you go over the white line, there's nothing I can do. Ray, nothing we can do. I can't look at what happened in the weekday. How did you go out on Friday night? I don't know. Nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Me and Ray picks the team, and we try and prepare you. But try and prepare them. I won't say you. Try and prepare them. Once you go over the line, nothing we can do.
Let me just kind of thank Paul for letting us come into his home. Guys, please subscribe, like, follow, comment, all of the good stuff. Tabriz here, the amateur footballer with Paul Barrett, assistant manager at Peckham FC 2016.
100% passes! 100% passes!